Hello. Today we're going to continue our discussion on burnout. Earlier I talked about appreciating yourself and getting appreciation and empowering yourself. Well, today I'm going to talk about asking for caregiving help. All caregivers need help, and what we need to understand is that this is hard work and it wasn't meant for us to do alone. So here are some suggestions. Look into Respite Care. Respite basically means giving you a break from caregiving responsibilities. There are organizations that I know of in Birmingham that can provide that. Two of the organizations that I know of for $40 will give you 4 to 5 hours of respite care. They will take care of your caregiver with full catered meals, activities, art, singing, and fellowship. And $40 might sound like a lot of money, but it's you only have to pay $40 for each time you come. And so that's easy to budget. And what's great about both of these organizations is that they offer scholarships. My parents attended one called Encore, and I got one scholarship for my mother or one of my parents, and so I only had to pay $40 per day that I took them as opposed to $80. So those are some things that you can look into. There are also adult day programs. I am one to not call them adult daycare. I really don't like that term because it, to me, is condescending and patronizing because our children need daycare. Our adult family members with dementia don't need daycare. Another thing that you can do is speak up and be specific. No one is going to know that you need help unless you tell them. And sometimes your family members may say, well, no, I can't do this, I can't do that. But most of the time that happens when you ask them to come see your loved one. They may be uncomfortable alone visiting with your loved one, but there are some other specific things that you can ask them to do. So be proactive, and I know that a lot of times we or our loved ones may say, well, I don't want anybody in my business. Well, dementia is nothing to be ashamed of, and more than likely, as far as your loved one is concerned, more than likely other people knew that something was wrong with them before they got their diagnosis. So I want to ask you to seek out help, and I just want to share something that I was a little bit afraid to approach my parents about, having caregivers come into the home to take care of them for a few hours or for 12 hours at a time. And I wasn't sure what they were going to say, but they actually responded positively, primarily because they knew that I needed to have time to do things for myself, my family, and for them. So you just never know. They may take it better than you think. This leads me to the next point. If somebody offers help, take it. You need the help. Spread the responsibility. Local family and friends know what you're going through, and they can help. But also remember that just because a family member is out of town doesn't mean that they can't help. You can ask them to be responsible for something that they're good at. If they're good at managing finances, let that be their job. If they're good at making phone calls and finding resources, let that be their job. If they're local, instead of saying, well, can you help me? I need some help with this, or can you come sit with my parents? Then, ask them, can you run by the pharmacy? Could you pick up this grocery list for me? Everybody can do something. This leads me to my next point. Set up a regular huddle meeting so that you can keep all of your family members involved. Sometimes your relatives may be reluctant to participate in these monthly or weekly update calls, but that doesn't matter. If you even have one family member or friend who's willing to talk to you once a month or once a week to be updated about what's going on with your loved one, then you talk to that person. You can also ask your loved one, just tell them, hey, I'm going to need some help with some things, and I wanted to make sure that it was okay with you for me to ask so and so? Or do you have a list of people that you would like to help me help take care of you? The final thing that I want to suggest is for you to get your kids involved. I have a really good friend who went through a similar caregiving situation with her mother, and she told me that no matter what, I should get my children involved regardless of their ages. If you have young children, if you have babies, let your loved ones hold the babies. If you have children who are in grade school, let them, read stories and spend time with their loved one, or just have them sit in the room with their loved one and do their homework. If you have older children like I do, they can drive and go to Walgreens and get prescriptions. I can send them to the grocery store. I can even ask them to take my parents for a drive just to get them out of the house. So, one of the final things that I want to say is that you're going to have to be willing to give up some of the control you have. If you've been the primary caregiver, you've been taking care of them, and you have a system in place. Well, delegate responsibilities without micromanaging. Nobody's going to do things just the way you do them, but the main goal is to get the job done. Finally, I want to get you to tell other people about the group. Ask them to join the group. If it's helping you, share that help with others you know who are going through caregiving. I'll definitely accept them to the group. I have it closed because I don't want too many people who are weird and strange trying to join the group. But if you refer someone to the group, I will definitely allow them to join. So talk to you later, and I hope you have a wonderful, glorious, blessed day.